The sun is a giant ball of burning gas. It gives us light and heat. The sun also has a rhythm, a cycle that repeats every 11 years. This is the solar cycle. During this cycle, the sun goes through periods of high activity and low activity. When the sun is most active, it has many sunspots and solar flares. When the sun is least active, it is quiet and calm. This quiet period is called solar minimum. Scientists have been studying the sun for centuries. They have noticed that the solar cycle can affect Earth in many ways. For example, it can influence our planet's climate and weather patterns. But could the sun's rhythm also be connected to something else, pandemics? Some researchers believe there might be a link between solar minimum and the outbreak of pandemics. They suggest that when the sun's activity is low, it might create conditions on Earth that make it easier for viruses to spread. This is a fascinating idea that requires further investigation. History seems to tell a story of a possible connection between quiet suns and global outbreaks. Scientists have looked back in time and found that some of the worst pandemics happened during periods of solar minimum. One such period was the Maunder minimum, a time between 1645 and 1715 when the sun was unusually quiet. During this time, the world experienced a very cold period known as the Little Ice Age. It was also a time of significant disease outbreaks. More recently, the world experienced a period of low solar activity from the 1970s to the early 2000s. During this time, several pandemics emerged, including the Ebola outbreak in 1976, the H5N1 bird flu pandemic in 1997, and the SARS outbreak in 2002. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2019, also coincided with a period of low solar activity. This string of pandemics happening during quiet solar periods has fueled the curiosity of scientists. It raises the question, is this just a coincidence, or is there a real connection between the sun's activity and the spread of diseases? While the historical data is intriguing, scientists are still trying to understand exactly how the sun's activity could influence pandemics. One theory focuses on the sun's magnetic field. The sun's magnetic field acts like a shield, protecting our planet from harmful cosmic rays. These rays come from outer space. During solar minimum, the sun's magnetic field weakens. This weakening allows more cosmic rays to reach Earth. Some scientists propose that these cosmic rays could affect our planet's atmosphere and climate, potentially creating conditions that are more favorable for viruses to thrive and spread. Another theory suggests that changes in solar activity could affect the human immune system, making people more susceptible to infections. However, more research is needed to confirm these theories and fully understand the complex relationship between the sun, our environment, and the emergence of pandemics. The possibility of a link between the sun's activity and pandemics is an exciting area of research. Scientists are continuing to investigate this potential connection using historical data, modern observations, and computer models. The goal is to understand if there is a real connection, and if so, what is the mechanism behind it. This research could have significant implications for public health. If we can better understand how solar activity affects the risk of pandemics, we can potentially predict and prepare for future outbreaks more effectively. While the sun's influence on pandemics remains a topic of debate, one thing is clear: the quest for answers continues, driven by scientific curiosity and a desire to safeguard global health.